You're listening to the OMG Hour.
Welcome to episode number 293, take 2 of the OMG Hour. I, of course, am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane, and today is April 26th, 2018, and I can see you guys.
Yay!
Yay! You know what's funny? I can see a psychedelic rainbow coming from you, Sean.
Oh my gosh.
It is awesome. It's just insane. I'm Jeff. Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Welcome
Jeff.
to the OMG Hour. I'm back.
Hi, Jeff. We missed you.
Hello, Tico, Mr.
Hello.
Second Place on Twitter.
Yes. There we are. See, now I don't even have to introduce myself.
Well, you weren't.
Done.
It didn't sound like you were gonna.
I was waiting. I wasn't sure Jeff has been gone for a bit. I figured he may want more time.
It was 1 week.
I know, but
What?
that's 1 week. 1 week of you not getting to talk. Figured maybe you wanted a little bit of extra time.
I can assure you I have nothing to say.
Nothing?
Absolutely
All right,
nothing.
bring back Tiny Jeff.
No, no. You know what? Don't talk about stuff no one knows what you're talking about.
Everybody should get the Tiny Jeff reference. And if not, they'll
Tico.
just make the assumptions.
Tico,
Yes.
what did you play this week?
I played some games. Not
Okay.
really much. I really didn't play much at all. This is like not usual for me, but I don't know why. I think I worked maybe.
Work.
It's really I don't
Job
even know.
thing?
I don't even know. I can't even really remember what I did that made it so I didn't play games. But I did not have anything really to play. So I played some Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 Thanos DLC.
I had no idea you liked Lego games.
I'm a fan, believe it or not. So this is a piece of DLC called Run the Gauntlet. And you play as Thanos and his merry band of miscreants, many of whom I won't know who they are until later this evening when I go see the movie.
So is this based on the movie or is it its own story?
No,
Good.
it's its own little story, has nothing to do with it. It's just capitalizing on the fact that Infinity Gauntlet comes out today, so this dropped yesterday. And so I played through. It's a story pack with some new characters.
And by Infinity Gauntlet, you mean Infinity War.
Yeah, did I say Gauntlet? Because I said because it's called Run the Gauntlet. That's why.
Okay.
And he's wearing a gauntlet.
He's wearing the gauntlet.
He's wearing the gauntlet. And so yeah, you play as Thanos and a bunch of his I guess
Awesome.
buddies. So yeah,
And so it's
fun little.
just a, like, what is it, like a 15-20 minute level pack type thing?
Yeah, it's just a level pack. I think it took me about 15 minutes to get through. Yeah, it's a fun little piece in the movie tie-ins there. They've seemed to be doing this with all the movies. There was a Black Panther one recently, and they've already announced there's a Ant-Man and the Wasp piece
nice.
coming out as well. So,
Looking forward to seeing the movie on the weekend. Where my wife and I are going to see Infinity War Saturday morning, like 11:30, around lunchtime at the VIP theater here.
I'm going in 4 hours, and I'm going to spoil it for you.
No, you're not. So I don't know if you're familiar with the VIP theaters, but they're full, like big, huge, comfy like, couch type chairs, and you can order food. It's a full restaurant service.
They are awesome.
Yeah,
they are fantastic.
It is the most amazing. It's the perfect date night movie thing, right? It's dinner and a movie in one place.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I will say I like the changes a lot of theaters have been making to make them better to get people more interested in going to the theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of the changes they make. Reserved seating is a huge one
my
for
gosh,
me that I really
right?
like. The better
A
seats.
must.
I went to go see. I took Oliver and Penelope to go see Ready Player One on Monday night, and because I hadn't seen it yet, and just like the electric seats and like the sitting back and the footrests and all that kind of stuff. And the reserve seating. That's such a great way to see a movie compared to how we used to see them when we were in our 20s.
Oh yeah.
I took Leah to see Coco a few months ago, and they did not have reserved seating. And that was by far the worst theater experience I have had.
Yeah.
You have to get there early. You have to line up and wait. You try keeping
like,
a
what?
7-year-old. No, we have to stand here
Yeah.
and not do
Yeah.
anything for an hour, and then we'll get to go in there and sit down. She lasted half an hour into the movie. She ate an entire thing of popcorn in 4 minutes, and her stomach was sore, and we had to leave.
Yeah, I won't do that anymore. I'm not.
No.
that whole waiting in line experience, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, I love the reserve seating. Love it.
So, speaking of Infinity War, I would also like to go see Infinity War at some point. However, I have yet to watch Spider-Man, and I have yet to watch Black Panther.
That's
and
also a good one.
I think I am caught up on every other Marvel movie to date.
Not sure you have to watch those two before this one.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the events of those two are going to be pivotal to the story. As long as you know who the character is, and and you know a little bit about them, as long as you know Black Panther is from Wakanda, I think that's really all you need to know.
And Spider-Man's a guy who
wears a spider costume.
Yeah,
I've never heard of Spider-Man before, but I'm looking forward to seeing him in action.
Right.
Again.
No, I think honestly the events up to Civil War, I think is more important to know what's going on than Spider-Man and Black Panther.
Okay.
As long as you're caught up to Civil War, I think you're good for Infinity War.
That being said, both are excellent movies.
Oh no, absolutely.
Both movies quite a bit.
Yeah.
So go see them. Absolutely, see them at some point. Absolutely, but you don't need to see those first.
Right. They won't have an impact on the story itself. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Cool beans, yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Tico, you played an interesting game that I'd like to know more about.
So this is a game called I Hope. It is a small indie, and I had glanced at it, and I like, okay, it's $10, whatever. It didn't look that interesting, and then I ended up reading an article about this one that a portion of the funds is actually going to cancer research.
In fact, it's supposed to be 100%.
I think it's 100%. I say a portion because you never know how much actually. Maybe it's 100% of the profits. So you play this little character, and you're traveling through these little islands, defeating or sucking this. Basically, you're sucking cancer out of the inhabitants of the creatures of the island, and you have to defeat a giant snake at the end of each level. It's it's a interesting little game. I ended up picking up because of the fact that they were giving that money to cancer research more than anything else. It does happen to have easy achievements as well. Which
admit it.
Hurt.
That's why you bought it.
No. I was looking at it, and I thought about getting it, and I didn't get it originally, and then I saw that, and I figured, okay, I'm going to put the $10 out because of that. It didn't. I was originally going to buy it for the easy achievements. It didn't hurt that it has the achievements, but it's a fun little platformer. You play this little character who has to travel island to island, again, curing the islands of the cancer. And you get different power-ups as you go through. So, like, the first thing you get is sort of like a slingshot thing. So you can hit enemies at a distance. Next island you get to, you pick up like a iron gauntlet, which lets you move heavy objects. So on each island you go to gives you like different little powers.
How are the controls? Just like the video that we're watching, when you go to aim in first-person mode, it almost looks like the controls are a little difficult.
But I didn't realize if you hold down you can aim. I didn't realize because it doesn't tell you that you can aim stuff very well.
Oh.
It doesn't tell. Like I just figured you just tap the button and it shoots and it would automatically go. I didn't realize you have to hold down and aim.
Oh,
so
I gotcha.
This is more me not understanding the controls or anything else. It is not because of the timing involved. You can miss because you have to hold down and it shoots into that mode and sort of you have to reorient yourself for a second before you can.
It does seem strange that way. Like, it doesn't feel like you could do it very quickly because, it's changing your orientation. Then you have to figure out where am I, and that thing that you're shooting at doesn't stay on screen very long. So it seems to be strange that way.
Like, you don't die very quickly. That little battle, that's sort of the island boss battle there. That took me about 20 minutes to do because I didn't know how to aim. I didn't realize what the goal was. So I just kept knocking those things down, dodging things. Like, I wasn't dying. I just didn't know what I was supposed to do.
Right. So it doesn't hold your hand then. It doesn't tell you anything. No, it's not horribly difficult, but it doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do either. It's not a bad little game, and the fact that they're giving the funds. I mean, I played that, wanted to talk about mainly because we just recently spoke about Hellblade and how they're giving funds to
for research as well. Like I think that it's a great thing that the gaming is doing now by supporting these things. Just an interesting thing. So that's why I donated and got the Easy Gamer score.
Yeah, it is interesting. So I hope it was built for charity, so that the proceeds do go towards cancer research. Like that was the reason why the game was built.
And then one other one I almost played was a title called Death Road to Canada.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Which I attempted to play. It was on the store, and by the time I hit buy on it, it had been yanked off the store.
Because of the incident in Toronto.
Because of the incident in Toronto, the developers felt that it was an insensitive time to have a title such as Death Road to Canada on the store, so they pulled that for the time being.
Even though it's actually a zombie game.
Yeah, it's a zombie game. It's an interesting looking game. You can create your own friends and put them in the game and stuff like that as heroes.
Road trip.
That's awesome.
So it was a fun look at because of the way it was pulled. It was actually sitting on the marketplace and ready to purchase. And as I hit buy, like it was on there for about maybe 15 minutes before they made the decision to pull it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
15 minutes. That was it.
Like I was at midnight. I happened to have the store up, and I was looking through. It's like, oh, this one, and I watched the gameplay of it, and then I backed out to check out something else on it. I went back in, and it was gone.
Oh, so literally while you were looking at it, they yanked
While
it.
I was looking at it, they
Wow.
pulled it from, like, it had to have been on there for maybe 15 minutes total. So I'm sure some people may have purchased it in that 15 minutes, but...
So have they said if it's going to come back?
It will come back. It will hit the store again. They just haven't announced the new release date. It was pulled obviously due to the incident in Toronto, that they were trying to be sensitive to not have anything offensive or anything like that on the marketplace at that time.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't have been offended, but I get it.
No, I don't think I would have been offended, but somebody may have, and so I mean, we've seen that happen before with stuff pulled because of sensitivities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a horrible thing to do, to take a few minutes to let stuff settle before having to put that back out there.
Yeah, Death Road to Canada.
Yeah.
Chico texts me and says, we should play this game on the show. Death Road to Canada sounds like our return trip from PAX.
Yep.
Last year. That's right.
Last year with no windshield wipers.
In the snowstorm.
In the snowstorm.
Yes.
You have to stop off for the health pickups of hot hand chicken on the way.
That's right. That's right. All right, Jeff, why don't you tell us what game you've been playing this week?
Sure. I've been playing a very special edition of The Sims, the in real life version of The Sims on the in real life game console. I have actually not played a darn thing in I haven't played a darn thing in 2 weeks because I've been getting my house ready to sell. And I sent Sean, I sent you some pictures last night so I could show you the chaos that my house is currently in, which is actually, that was when it got much better, and it's better more now because I spent all last night. So I decided to paint. I've got actual wooden covered doors, not melamine or anything like that. I decided I was going to bring somebody in to resurface and paint them. So last night, I spent all last night hanging my cupboards back up, which I can assure you was boring as hell and super hard on my back, and I lost a bunch of screws. And I'm all done, and I've got extra screws, which is really concerning to me, considering this is not some laptop I'm pulling apart. It's like doors and drawers and handles and stuff like that. I'm like, why do I have extra screws?
Well, yeah, but here's just put them in a bag.
Yeah.
Write down extra screws on it, and then leave them for whoever buys your house.
Yeah, I guess
Extra
so.
screws.
That's probably not a bad idea.
Just said, listen, I'll throw these in. That's a negotiating piece. It's like you just, like when they give you your first offer, you just push the bag of screws across the table to them and see if they'll up their offer.
So, so I've just been going great. I've painted almost the whole house. I have a whole new living room set arriving tomorrow, and my living room is full of junk right now, and I have to get that out.
Oh man,
and it's just.
Are you off work this week then?
Chaos. No,
oh,
no, I'm still working. I'm still working. I've been working during the day, and then doing house stuff at night, and then again I have the kids half time, right? So every other day I've got kids here, and I'm doing the dad thing, and I am ready to just swallow a bullet right now. I am so tired. I am so ridiculously tired. It has been such a big job. But
so what you're saying is you have a bit of an excuse for not playing games. Yeah,
I am very near to the end. Although we did get today our beta codes for Defiance 2050, and I
didn't get that.
We should check again. You probably got it on freaking Xbox, and they're like, Xbox loser.
Yeah.
No, don't comment about. I'm joking. It's a knock against Tico, not a knock against Xbox. I love Xbox.
I'm tweeting at you right now.
So I am excited to play Defiance 2050 this weekend because if you're brand new to the show and you don't know, Sean and I are big fans of Defiance.
Yes.
It was kind of like a stopgap game before Destiny came out that did some really good open world shooter stuff. And I'm very much looking forward to checking it out. I did check that out on PC a couple of weeks ago because it's free to play on PC now. And
but the original Defiance, not 2050.
The original Defiance. And my son was like, "Daddy, can we play a new game?" And gamer kids go through games like they're friggin' nothing these days, right? I don't want to spend any money, so I'm like, okay, let's go through free-to-play games. I'm like, Defiance, yeah, maybe he'll like that. He likes Destiny and all those kind of games. And so I installed Defiance on my new gaming rig. And I got to tell you something. That game looks pretty good. It's not super hardcore graphics by any stretch, but it still looks good. Maybe they've put in some updates to it since then, but like I'm running it on this monitor that this camera is sitting on top of is 4K monitor. I'm running it in 4K, and it's just glorious looking. It is not bad looking at all. So I'm curious to see. I am super curious to see what they've changed when that goes live tomorrow. So next week, I promise, I will have a game to talk about.
Yes, I am hoping to play it this weekend as well. Open beta starts tomorrow on PS4 until the 29th, so 3 days.
It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah. Tico, any email for Xbox version?
Nothing.
No? Maybe the Xbox demo. I know the trial for PC was last week, or the closed beta.
I had seen that they said consoles, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I forgot to apply too. I don't know. There's a possibility that
you kind of had to apply for it. Yes. So
there's a possibility I did forget to apply. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
Do we know? Is that going to be free to play, or is it a
don't know? I don't know. I'm not sure if they've said.
Okay.
Okay, so before we move on, I actually played God of War this week. So I know.
I missed. You guys reviewed this last week.
Here, right? Yeah. Sid was on, and Sid had played it. I hadn't played it yet, so I actually got
so much good things about this game.
Sony sent me a physical version of this game, and I opened it up.
Old school.
It's like, what do I do with this round thing? I wasn't sure what I did with it, and I eventually figured out it actually goes in the PS4. I mean,
where?
Who knew?
Like in the USB?
No, there's
this. You have to buy an adapter
in the front.
Just sit it on top.
See, you can't see it because you know those slots on our PS4 Pro. Well, on the left-hand side of the top slot, there's this other slot inside it, and the disc goes in there.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
a record player for games.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's like totally old school, man.
It's retro. It's vintage.
It's absolutely. So yeah, God of War. Been playing it now. As I said last week, I wasn't a huge fan of the original God of Wars. They were too, real time event, heavy. They're very much hack and slash.
Yeah, they were hack and slash. They were definitely a game of their era.
Oh yes, for sure. And if they were good games, if you like them, they just weren't my kind of game. I didn't find enjoyment in them. But my goodness, this new version of God of War is unbelievable. The story is great. The acting is really, top notch. And I love what we'll talk about it a bit later, but they've got a single camera trick. So the camera never cuts away throughout the entire game. It is always there following Kratos. You totally cut out there, Jeff. Sorry, we didn't hear you.
I said it sounds amazing. That's
yes, it is. Beautiful looking game. Lots of colors. I mean, I think the older games were not quite as colorful as this one, but gorgeous looking game. The combat is really easy to get into. It's basically heavy attack and light attack, and then you can upgrade those attacks as you go. And as you gain XP, you can upgrade skills, gain new skills. You can change your axe. Add different pummels on it, add different enchantments on it, that basically increase your power and your strength, and there's a whole bunch of different stats that you can increase as you play the game. But honestly, it's the story between Kratos and Atreus that's just fantastic. It's watching that father-son dynamic, but it's also that sort of old school God who has a son. Like he always calls him boy. He never calls him by name. It's like, boy,
Yeah.
So it's this very, very tough father who's almost afraid to show affection towards his son, and they show that in the videos sometimes, where he wants to touch his son sort of in a loving manner, but then he pulls away, and you kind of see
Beats him with the axe?
No, he doesn't beat him with the axe. Where he's trying to train his boy to be, to be a man. And you can see sort of his conflict in teaching him the ways of the world versus coddling him. He definitely doesn't coddle his son at all, but you can kind of see that hesitation where he kind of wants to show some affection, but then pulls away and doesn't. It's a super fantastic. Just the conversations between them, the relationship between them is incredible. You got basically the kid's like 10 years old, and he wants to be a kid. But then you have this tough Kratos who's a god basically, who's a no nonsense god. Though nothing's frivolous. Everything's like, we have a mission to do, and that is it.
It's very similar to the relationship I have with my son.
Oh, is it now? But no, seriously, this game is really, really well done. Absolutely fascinating. Several different difficulty levels. If you just want to play it for the story, you can throw it on like easy level, which basically the combat is no big deal at all.
You breathe on people and they fall over.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
But I was playing on normal mode, which is the recommended, and then I think there's 2 levels above that as well. But even on normal mode, it becomes a challenge at times. You can get overwhelmed if you're not really. You still have to pay attention to all the enemies around you. I love the way you can throw the axe and then pull it back like Thor's hammer type thing. Just having that ability, and if you pull the axe back and it goes through enemies on its way back, it actually damages them as well. So you kind of got that double damage. You throw it and you pull it back. The axe also freezes them in place, some of the enemies. Sometimes the controls I find are a little bit... like, they're not hard to understand, but sometimes I keep having to reference the screen to remember, how do I put my axe away? Because sometimes you'll find enemies that are not... they're not damaged by the axe. So you have to sheath the axe and use your fist and shield instead. So I'm constantly having to think, okay, how do I sheath the axe? I can't remember because I kind of just always want to throw the axe.
Right.
But no, it's fantastic. There's some of the ultimate combos are amazing. When you stun an enemy, if you press right, you click the right 3 button. He actually does this sort of it's an animated execution basically.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
But no, like, this game is fantastic. There's no real-time events. It is literally it's an adventure game. It is an adventure RPG. It's not even open world, which is odd for games these days. This is a very linear path game. Of course, in the areas you get to, there are maybe little side paths to explore for collectibles.
Okay.
But it's not an open world. You're not just going anywhere and everywhere you want. You are following a very distinct path through this game.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's actually better. I think that's better.
No, it's great. It's just, today's age of games, everybody seems to be making these open world games, right? Everybody wants open world everything. This This is staying on the linear path, adventure. It's telling a very distinct story that never really strays from the path, no pun intended, you know. There are occasional side quests you can do, but it's always in that particular area you're in. You know, there's a couple little extra things you can do before you keep going. But yeah, it's fantastic. Highly recommend it. Even if you were not a fan of the original God of War games, this game is absolutely beautiful. It stuns me every time I play, just at how great this game is. You know, it's kind of hard to put into words.
Yeah. That was gruesome. Sorry, I'm watching the YouTube stream just so I can watch the comments come in. So I'm like 10 seconds behind, and I just witnessed the death of that giant guy you were fighting. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, no, that's the after you stun an enemy, you press right 3 and it goes into this execution event, this kill event. But even as I was mentioning the camera, it never stops basically being on Kratos. Even as soon as you switch to I'd say a cutscene, it's so fluid between gameplay, cutscene, back to gameplay. There are no cuts. There is absolutely no distinction between a cutscene and gameplay. It is so fluid. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic. Highly, highly recommend it. And it is actually, I believe, the highest rated PlayStation game right now. I think it's at a 95.
Holy smokes. What, on Metacritic?
On Metacritic. Yeah. It's got a 95 on Metacritic, which I think is one of the highest PlayStation IP titles, I think, ever, if I'm not mistaken.
It definitely is at 95.
Yes, it is. Yeah, no, it was getting 9s and 10s across the board.
All-time high scores PS4. Here we go. Talk amongst yourselves while this page loads. It is tied for second place.
What's first?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right, which is not a PlayStation exclusive.
Right.
So
so it's tied for second place with The Last of Us Remastered.
Yes, that's right. So
Yeah.
that's pretty fantastic.
Pretty good.
Eric Bouchard, who's watching us right now, says there's a great picture of Kratos standing by as Aloy teaches Atreus to shoot a bow, which is awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that the other day.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds amazing. Obviously, two high-rated PlayStation games there.
I also saw today a picture of Kratos without his beard.
Really?
That Sony Santa Monica released.
Oh my gosh!
Totally scanning, looking for it now. See if I can still find it.
All right.
I'll put it in chat.
Put it in the show notes when we're done.
Yeah.
So anyway, we don't have a Lost Treasure again this week, and that's my fault. I didn't have time to put one together. So I am bringing you yet another musical interlude this week from Video Games Live. And this week I'm going to bring you the Mario theme and also the Final Fantasy X theme. So first is Mario and then Final Fantasy X, and we'll be back right after this interlude. All right, let's talk about the news. Let's talk about the news. Of course, we did. I just finished talking about God of War's camera, and apparently there's a great article that talks about the game director. He had this idea to do this, never cutting, single shot camera throughout the entire game, which took them, he said he had to use 6 or 7 tricks to actually make it work. But a lot of the people working on it didn't actually get it until the game was done. And once they saw it actually working throughout the whole game, they're like, I get it now. Okay, this is great. But imagine having this vision that even your team doesn't quite get while you're working on it.
I have that problem all the time.
I have that problem with my family.
Oh, man. But, I think really kind of what I take out of that whole thing is that, we're always looking for, what's the next innovation in games? Where are we going next? A couple years ago, we had the Nemesis thing with the Shadows of Mordor games, right? Mm-hmm. Or the Middle-earth games. They got the Nemesis, which no one else has really kind of done. I'm kind of surprised they haven't. But now we've got, Santa Monica Studios taking the risk of doing a single camera shot throughout an entire game. And it makes me wonder, now that they've kind of proven it works and it's effective, I wonder how many other people are going to attempt such things. Is this going to be a new technique in the industry?
It's been done in film before.
Oh yeah, absolutely in film. But never done in a game.
It's an artistic direction thing, right? So, I could totally see somebody doing it again, but it's not I don't know if it's going to become a game staple like some of the other advancements that have been made. Just because, again, it's an artistic choice of this is what they wanted to, he had this vision in his head of something he wanted to do, and then he just did it. It's very much an artsy type thing.
Absolutely.
It's more of a storytelling mechanic than
it really is.
Else.
It is, and it's very, very effective in the storytelling. Because as I'm playing it, I feel like I kind of feel like the story is told in little chunks, like chapter chunks, but when the camera never stops and the gameplay essentially never stops, it's almost jarring to me as a gamer. It's like, oh, there's no ending. I just keep going. Because we're used to having these sort of ends where we take a breather and then we move on. But this one's just, no, you just keep on going. Literally, the game never stops from beginning to end. But yeah, it is absolutely an artistic choice, but I wonder how many people, now that they've developed a way of doing it, if they can sort of, I guess, publish that technique so that other people can do it. And kind of teach the industry how they did it. Because they had to come up with tricks in order to make it work. Because I'm talking about even when you go to the shop that's in the game to upgrade and to purchase items, the camera still never cuts away from where you were. It kind of zooms in on the character, you go into the menu, and then it comes right back to where it was before. So smoothly, like, it's incredible. Like, the stuff they've done with this game to make it look like the camera never leaves Kratos. It's unbelievable. Jeff, your favorite game, Destiny 2?
Destiny 2!
Warmind DLC has now been detailed. Do you want to give us some updates on what we can expect from Warmind?
Sure. So there's sort of, I guess, maybe like 4 key things, I would say. So obviously there's a new campaign with a new enemy variant, which is sort of disappointing to me. I would have liked to have seen something totally new, but now we get
a new hive.
Ice Hive.
Yeah, come on.
Hive. I'm like, oh, really? It's like we've had the same enemies for, I don't even know how many years now Destiny's been out.
3 years? We're going on 4 years now. 4 years of Destiny. Can I just say, I agree with you. I think, so the way they describe it is Rasputin is actually unearthed or unmarsed, And
Yeah.
because it takes place on Mars. Sorry, I just had to say
And
that.
apparently Rasputin is on Mars.
It's Rasputin, and they find him, and as they open it up, this hive that's been in there for eons or however long comes flowing out. And I'm like, really? Like, if you're going to introduce a new race, let me rephrase that. Why not introduce a whole new race that's been under there for this long?
Not just a palette swap?
Yeah. Why is it a new version of the hive that we've been seeing for 4 years already?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, give us another enemy that maybe has been down there for whatever reason. That's why we've never seen them.
Yeah. So, okay. So, that being said, the campaign is about Rasputin. If you've played Destiny 1, he was a big part of that game. And he is an AI that was designed to protect Earth, and now we're going to learn more about his story, including Anna Bray, who was, I think the Bray Corporation was the corporation that built the Warminds or something like that. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've read up on that stuff. But so that's like, she's a name that was, or Bray is a name that showed up in Destiny 1 quite often in all the lore stuff. So it's actually a super interesting story. It's too bad they didn't put it in the game. So you're going to be working through that. There's a new hive worm god or something. So there's some interesting stuff there in the campaign. For PvP, new maps, new modes, private matches, if that's your thing, that's coming. I am going through this super quick, by the way. There's a new raid variant, which they haven't really said much about. And then there is a new there's a new Mars map, which is more northern pole Mars, so there's going to be ice along with the red snow. And that map is going to be bigger than Mercury, by the way, because Mercury's map was like the size of my backyard. It was tiny.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly. Now, wait, is Mars in Destiny 2 now? I don't remember.
No.
I didn't think so. So they're bringing Mars back for this DLC.
Yeah. And then there's like all the normal stuff, new strikes and stuff like that. But there's a new public-esque event called Escalation Protocols, which are essentially Horde mode.
Oh.
So, which you can also, apparently, from what I understand, you can happen upon them, or you can trigger them. It's kind of like some of the events they introduced in Destiny 1, where there was a couple of them where you had to like go to a specific area and then you could start them, or you could just go and join other players who had started them. And then there's 7 waves, and then there's tons of loot rewards and stuff like that. In the show notes, I've linked to a Reddit post, which is the Reddit everything we know so far about Warmind, and there's tons and tons of information about there. So.
They've taken the loot cave from Destiny 1 and made it a mode. Remember the loot cave? Very early in the lives of Destiny 1, right? Loot cave, yeah. Everyone would just stand back, and then all the hive would come out. You shoot them all, and there'd be gems or whatever inside. I can't remember. What do they call them?
Engrams?
Engrams, thank you.
Yeah.
There'd be a bunch of engrams everywhere, and then everyone would run back and wait for it to respawn. They've taken that and made a mode out of it. Because
pretty much.
Everyone loved it. I mean...
Yeah, I don't want to say you're shooting down a hole. It is actually going to be a really challenging game mode, apparently, as you get into the later levels.
Yeah, you spin in circles with your gun going. That's
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they've added, there's bosses, and there's mechanics, and there's weapons that spawn. There's a new, like, spear type thing going on. And obviously new exotics and new. There's a bunch of quality of life improvements coming. You can disable, or you can discard things or break down things in your vault. You get more vault space. You can break down things in the Postmaster if that's your thing.
Can you give items to friends?
Nope, still can't give items to friends. Yeah. So I want to say overall, like, a lot of this stuff is good. There's a lot of good stuff coming. I'm just not sure it's enough yet. I still feel, I really like Destiny 1. I really like Destiny 2. But I feel like that game is still on the precipice of becoming something great.
It's still trying to figure out what it wants to be.
And I think they oversimplified it for Destiny 2 way more so than they needed to. And now they've got a game that doesn't have enough depth for long-term play. It has significantly less depth than Destiny 1. And I just kind of feel like I've had this feeling ever since we first played Destiny. You remember that, Sean, when we first played and we're like, what, we're done Earth already?
Yep, right.
Like, you're just sort of like, what, that's it? The whole time you're playing that game, you're like, there's just not enough.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And I feel like this is just more of just not enough.
Yep.
You know? So, we'll see. I'm totally going to play it. I'm really looking forward to playing it. But I have a feeling that it's still going to be not enough.
No, I agree. It's the story just seems to be over a lot quicker than it needs to be. Or a lot quicker than you're expecting, you know? It's
not even the story. It's just that there's... The game is just not... You know, in a normal MMO... which I think this needs more MMO to it. I know what they're trying to do. I think it's a mistake. But in a normal MMO, there's so many things that you can go and do besides combat, right? You can go exploring, you can go adventuring, you can do puzzles. I'm thinking of Guild Wars 2 specifically here. There was all sorts of exploring stuff to do, and side stuff and crafting and vendors and side quests and way bigger public events and all that kind of stuff that you could do. And in Destiny, it's like it doesn't want to be called an MMO, and that's obvious. It's not an MMO, but I think they need to just dip their toes into the water a little bit more.
But I think
just push it a little bit further, because if you look at a game like Warframe, Warframe is it's like the third most popular game on Steam, played on Steam right now, and that game has so much depth to it, it's insane. Like Destiny it's like a millimeter deep, compared to a lot of other games that are coming up, and they just need to do more. And their studio's like 400 people. Like, what are you guys doing?
Right? Anyway, I mean, look at Defiance. Defiance was an MMO. It was an MMO shooter that had a lot of things to do. It had a lot of missions and side missions, and like it felt satisfying when you went from region to region. You felt like you were not just in that region for 5 minutes. You were in there for a time. And it's like, oh, awesome, I just finished this region. I'm going to move on to a whole new region now, right? And it's always exciting when you get to move to that new region. But I feel like in Destiny 2, or even in Destiny 1, you're moving from region to region like really fast before you've really got a chance to appreciate the first region you were in.
And, I will say that Defiance has its own subset of problems. The missions where you are forced into single player.
Yes, that has to go.
Lack of enemy types. Yeah. You're fighting the same guys over a large swath of that map. It's either bug people or mutants until you get to like the super soldier area.
Right.
Or was. But it definitely had a lot more MMO systems, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
That Bungie could use. But in a lot of ways, Destiny 2 is a better game than Defiance. They're striving for different things. You could tell that Bungie was made by a bigger team. But I still don't think
for sure. Yeah. No, I agree. We've said a lot. Black Ops 4. So I think this news came out just after we recorded last week that Black Ops 4 will have no single player this year. It's going to be an online only game. And Jeff, were you saying it might actually get like an Overwatch revamp to it?
Well, there's a bunch of rumors. I got to open the article here. This is a Game Informer article. It's linked in the show notes. So the first thing that came out was, Black Ops 4, no single player campaign. Makes sense for 99% of the people that play Call of Duty. Yeah. Not for you and not for us.
No.
But
this just ensures I will never play Call of Duty.
Right. So, but then follow-up rumors were saying that they started exploring a Overwatch type way of making Call of Duty, where you are picking characters, they have different abilities. Actually, I think that's pretty much all they said. The rumor states that Black Ops 4 is focusing on different heroes with different abilities, of removal of perks, and an emphasis on kill streaks to unleash character-altering skills. Both the rumor and Charlie Intel have heard that these things fell flat with playtesters and are being walked back to some extent. and then blah 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 blah. And then there was like, and they're pulling back these changes to make it more like Black Ops 3 multiplayer, which I did not like, for the record. I thought the Black Ops 1 and 2 multiplayer, actually Black Ops 1 I think still had the best multiplayer. And then the other thing is they've also heard rumors that it could be going to Battle Royale mode.
Like everything.
That does
like
not
everything else.
surprise me at all.
That's and if you think about it, I mean, that standard team deathmatch Call of Duty formula has been around now for a really long time, and if they want to stay relevant, they need to look at that stuff, right? Call of Duty is not the juggernaut that it once was. It's still a big game, like no doubt about it.
Yes,
but you look at games like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and Fortnite.
Yeah.
And those games are dominating, and nobody's going to go buy a...
Don't forget Epic's new game that's coming. Radical Heights.
That's not Epic.
That's not Epic.
That is not. That's Cliffy
Sorry,
B.
Cliffy
That's
B.
Cliff B.
Sorry, Boss Key.
Yeah. They're trying to do the fast follower thing. We'll see how that works out for them.
Apparently it's
Call of
not
Duty's-
working out well at all. The previews of it so far saying it's really bad.
Well, it's super early. They only were in dev for like 3 months. I wouldn't want to release something in 3 months either. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. This is Clippy B. He was on the Unreal team. But anyway, these guys, they need to stay relevant, right? I mean, Activision's having some issues these days. It's Call of Duty. Well, first of all, the whole Skylanders thing is done.
Yeah.
Call of Duty may finally have run its course 700 games later. Destiny 2 is not performing to expectation. And you look at like what are their big games? Well, they're all falling to friggin' Epic and a bunch of indie devs. So they got to do something. So multiplayer focus only games are doing really well right now. You look at Fortnite, you look at PUBG, they're multiplayer only, and they're totally dominating the market.
But there's also a Call of Duty League,
it.
right? There's the Call of Duty Championship. So that's obviously, they want to target that, have a new game each year for specifically the Call of Duty Championship.
I don't think that the standard Call of Duty multiplayer would go away. I don't think they're stupid enough to get rid of it, to totally alienate their fan base, which is still huge.
No.
But it'll be interesting to see what else they do. And I'm sorry, Activision, I should also say that they are still, obviously Blizzard's still doing really well for them. Yeah. Overwatch is still dominating in its own special way, right? It's not doing as well as Fortnite, but it's still doing really well. So.
Are you still playing Overwatch at all, or have you kind of has it run its course for you?
I go back in when my son comes up to me and says, "Hey, Dad, would you like to play some Overwatch?" And I'm like, "You bet I would, son." But I go in and I'm like, "There's characters I haven't played now. I haven't played Moira. I haven't played what's her name? Her name is Brigitte, but I call her Bridget.
Oh, Bridget, yes.
I haven't played any of these new characters. I haven't really been into it in a little while, and a lot of that I think was, I built a new gaming PC. I've been playing on PC. I don't have Overwatch for PC, and I don't really feel like starting over. So,
all right. Well, we only have a couple minutes left because I have to actually get going, so we may be less than an hour today.
What?
Wow. Let's go through these real quick. So, Nintendo's president is he's going to retire. So, the guy who took over for
Iwata?
Yeah, Iwata. He is going to retire. And here's the reason why I wanted to talk about this. So, Shuntaro Furukawa, he is currently Nintendo's global marketing. He runs the global marketing department. He will be the new president. And it says here, what's most interesting about naming Furukawa as Kimishima's successor is his age. Furukawa was born in 1972. He'll be 46 when he begins his new job as president. That's a significant difference from Kimishima, who turned 68. And it says here, it says, with his youth, he brought a special kind of energy to Nintendo, and they were talking about Satoru, because Satoru was 42, I think, 43 when he became president. And they said, with his youth, they brought a special kind of energy to Nintendo. I'm like, yes, I'm still young. Thank you for
Yeah,
saying so.
in Japan, Sean. In Japan.
Oh, in
In Japan,
Japan.
where they live to like 150.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to move to Japan to be considered young. So
So they consider at 46 he's young to be heading the company. So with his youthfulness will bring innovation. I'm like, good. Yes, we're going to change the show to the YMG hour, the young married gamers. Because we are youthful. And while we're on the topic of Nintendo, so a report came out from Ars Technica that somebody has unearthed an exploit in the Switch that allows it to be hackable, and it's an unpatchable exploit, and it's all due to the NVIDIA card that's in it. So the NVIDIA card has some kind of a hack that you can get into the system and actually hack it to run like Linux or whatever you want. So there's certain things you have to do to get into it. You basically cause the video card to fail by accessing a certain address, and then once you've gained access, you can then hack the whole system.
Yeah.
But it's unpatchable.
Well, so here's the thing that we got to specify. If you own a Switch today, you can do this.
You can do this,
but
yes.
It is expected that Nintendo is going to fix this in the next version of the Switch with a new chip.
Yes.
yeah.
This exploit actually affects every device that uses, I think it's a Tegra processor, is it not? Did they mention
NVIDIA, yes.
Tegra. Yeah,
NVIDIA Tegra X1. So on the Switch,
Yeah.
the hardest part of the exploit seems to be forcing the system into USB recovery mode. To do this without opening the system requires shorting out a certain pin on the right Joy-Con connector, the bit on the side where the system connects to the Joy-Con. The hacking team at Fail Overflow tweeted a picture of a small plug-in device that can apparently provide this short out easily. It's like, so you shock it, and then it forces it into USB recovery mode, and then you can request the system like up to 535 bytes, which apparently overflows the memory in the video card and causes an error that gets you in the back door.
Yeah.
It's like, how do people even figure this out?
Well, I mean, I believe, if I remember correctly, because I read this a couple of days ago, but it was a known issue with that processor. I mean, it's not. You know, these electronics guys, they are freaking wizards, man.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by anything these guys do.
Right? Wow. Yeah, so I have no idea what hacking your Switch would do to it. Like, I really don't know. Does this void the warranty somehow? Could it brick it?
It probably could. And Nintendo may block people from being able to take those systems online too. They may be able to detect whether or not it's been hacked or not. I mean, if you want to be able to load up ROMs and stuff like that on your Switch, then I guess maybe you take the chance of something like that. But
or just go buy another Switch. It's no big deal, right?
Or just buy a classic, an NES classic,
exactly,
and do that. It's way cheaper to do if you're gonna mess with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or find somebody who has an Ouya that isn't using it and just hack that.
Ooh, I
got one.
That right?
I got one somewhere in here too.
Yeah, me too.
Isn't it right on this shelf somewhere? I don't even know.
I have.
All right.
My
what else are we
Ouya's
talking
sitting
about?
up there. Okay, three more things, real quick.
Great. Okay, go.
This is awesome. So the Avengers Infinity War Iron Spider suit, which we've all seen in the trailers, Spider-Man is wearing the Iron Spider suit. That is going to be playable in the Spider-Man game on PS4, and I'm like, sweet, because that white spider costume is stupid.
I love that white spider costume.
You are wrong.
And dumb.
You are wrong,
Both wrong
Jeff.
and dumb.
No, 2-1.
I will not play with the metal spider suit just to spite you guys.
No,
I will review this one, and I will record all the footage. I'll see if I can get an even whiter suit. There is one. I know there's one.
Just get the reverse Venom suit. It's white with a black spider. That's it. No, honestly, when they revealed the Iron Spider suit at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man decided not to use it, I'm like, oh, come on, that thing looked awesome. And of course, in the trailers for Infinity War, we see him wearing it. I'm like, sweet. It looks like an awesome costume. So I will definitely be wearing that on Spider-Man in PS4. Well, not me. I won't be wearing it.
You won't.
my character on screen will be. Yes,
Your guy.
that's right. All right, 2 more things. Jeff,
Yes.
what's PlayStation Plus getting next month in May? What are we getting? Quick, what are we getting?
Opened that tab. I opened the tab and now I can't freaking find it.
What are we getting?
Oh God! We're getting Beyond Two Souls.
Yes, just in time to for Detroit Become Human to come out.
So if you're interested, this is the same dev, right?
Same dev. Which, by the way, there is a fully playable demo of.
Which I think is what we played at PAX.
It's the first level. It's the first story, basically. It's fully playable on PS4 right now, so go download it, check it out. It's amazing.
It is awesome.
Yeah, so Beyond Two Souls, which I've heard is very good. Rayman Legends, which is an awesome platformer by Ubisoft Montreal, I believe.
Or Rayman, as the case may be.
What did I call it?
Rayman?
Rayman? Did I call it Rayman?
Everybody loves Rayman?
Rayman? It's Rayman.
Rayman. Whatever.
Rayman.
Awesome game. And I already... Do I own it?
I think you do. I think you do.
I own it on 360. I don't remember if I own it on PS4. But I might, actually. Was it already a free game? Why would I buy
it was a free game with gold on both the Xbox One and the 360 at 2 different times.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a great game for kids. And then don't care about PS3, blah, blah, blah. What else? King Oddball is going
some
to
people
PS4.
do.
Nobody cares about Risen 3 Titan Lords and eat them to PS3, King Oddball on everything, and Vermins on Vita. But nobody cares about that stuff.
King Oddball, isn't that the game you played, Tico?
I did play it.
The big, huge tongue? Like, that was... Oh my gosh, that was a dumb-looking game.
It is a weird... Well, yeah, like you're a wrecking ball or something like that. With you, I know I've played it. It is very weird, and you guys laughed at me.
Rightly so.
Yeah, no, it's not not a high quality game, but
Eric Bouchard says King Oddball is fun. So, all right, Chico, Xbox games with gold. What's coming out in May?
All right, May 1st to 31st, a brand new title, which is nice because I actually don't have this one because it's brand new. Super Mega Baseball 2.
Super Mega Baseball. Do you have Super Mega Baseball 1?
I do have Super Mega Baseball 1.
Is it good?
It's fun. It's sort of arcadey, very arcadey baseball thing. It looks like they've upped their game a little bit, so it looks a little bit more realistic now. But it was super fun. It was like the kids with giant heads, playing baseball in the park. Right. It's a fun game and free with your purchase of gold.
Yes, well, free with subscription.
That's free with purchase.
Oh my gosh, what else are we getting,
Tico?
All right, fine. You're also getting May 16th to June 15th, Metal Gear The Phantom Pain, which is actually a really good game.
Is it?
Is
it, though?
It is a good game for people who like that sort of thing. It's
weird.
Is
this the small version, or is this the full?
No, this is the full one, the big one.
This is the full one.
Okay.
Yeah. It is weird. It's like I've never really been fully into the Metal Gear stuff, so it is very odd when like you're thinking you're playing a military game and like there's like zombies and floating fireballs and all sorts of weird stuff.
I ended up buying it for like $5, and then it was free on PlayStation Plus as well a while back. So now everybody can have it free on both platforms with subscription.
All right, and then from the 1st to the 15th of May on the 360 with backwards compatibility is Streets of Rage.
Classic
side-scrolling beat-em-up.
Yep.
And from the 16th to the 31st is Vanquish, which is actually a really good game.
A lot of people like Vanquish.
I remember this game being good.
It is good. It's fun.
Yeah.
I remember it also being good.
I don't think I've ever played it, but I've heard people like
Well,
that
guess
game.
what, Sean? From the 16th to the 31st...
I'm not going to play it.
You won't remember and won't get a chance to play it.
Oh, I always remember. It's not one I'm going to add to my collection.
You should do it. You should just click the button anyways.
That's your job.
Button once. Okay, I'll come over to your house and click the button for you.
No.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Okay, I have practice to get to. I'm going to be playing on the drums again tonight. Bang, bang, bang.
All right, take us out.
So, we're done. Thank you for listening to episode number 293. Thanks for those who actually came for our 3-minute intro show that we screwed things up and then had to start recording again. So yeah, thanks for
This is we stuff, Sean.
like either of
Chico and
us
I
have
did
anything to
nothing.
do with anything.
yeah, whatever. It's all your
We
fault.
just sit here and talk for an hour.
It's Tico's
You're
fault.
supposed to get all that.
I'm fine. I accept full responsibility. Did you say your name yet?
I am Zion Tane. Actually, I'm Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane. That is XIANTAYNE. You guys are messing me up big time.
Hey, you're the one who started talking. All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place. Our gaming archaeologist is Sid Bolton. You can follow him at Sid Bolton, and that's Sid with a Y. And you can follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour.
Oh, and I'm Jeff.
That's now.
You can follow me on Twitter if you like that sort of thing, at Cynics, SINNIX. You can find the show notes on omgnexus.com. And, of course, you can follow the website on Twitter at OMGNexus. You can watch us Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on YouTube, youtube.com/OMGNexus.
Mistakes and all.
It's yes. And, of course, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, please like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. That stuff actually really, really helps.
Yeah, for sure.
Cannot stress that enough.
And thanks, Eric and Brian, for watching us live. Whoever else is out there watching us, thanks for watching. We'll be back again next week.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.